Hello everybody, it's Scribs. Welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to be talking about how I use references effectively. Now, I know there's been a lot of discourse about using references in the community, but in recent years it's become acceptable to use references. It was originally controversial because, well, I don't really know why. I suspect it has to do with tracing and claiming art as your own when you're using references and in that manner. But I'm going to be showing you two ways to use references today that don't include tracing, though I think tracing is very beneficial and I often use it when I'm trying to get more accurate drawings of celebrities and other poses. Method number one is copy the reference exactly as you see it. This type of study is so that you're able to train your eye in many techniques, the most important one being replication and then style. Once you're able to copy something directly as you see it, you are able to recognize shapes and go forward and hone in your own style based on what you see, what you like in others' art, and then apply that eventually. I believe this method starts first because you're able to recognize how others apply this in their style and in their studies when you watch their videos and use the same references. I really started to take these studies to heart when I wanted to learn how to stylize celebrities, which there's a great video for that. I'll put in the link below. But yeah, I began to do this by focusing on bigger shapes, and that's how it led me to drawing Sandra Oh as Christina Yang pretty accurately. And now I'm hoping to take this into drawing the characters from Better Call Saul, as well as some other characters that I've been really interested in drawing. And the part that I struggle the most with is the eyes. Stylizing eyes the way that I want to always feels very difficult because the balance I have between cartoonism and semi-realism. There's two things that became very instrumental to my process and accuracy when I was drawing directly from reference and copying, and that was learning about the planes of the face and shapes. So recognizing where things are in relation to each other and the shapes that they created definitely helped when I was learning how to draw this out. Draw like this at first. I definitely say now I have a better handle on it, though I'm not the most experienced necessarily. Like here, I think her head is still a little bit too fat and it needed to be a bit longer, but for the most part, I kind of got to put down the enough marks that you can tell who it is. And that's always the goal, right? You want your drawing to be readable. I went back and forth, always forgetting to draw the lips. I'm still having some trouble with the lips. I'm realizing that drawing the shape too literally is screwing me over, which is what keeps happening basically. I keep going back and forth with this idea of drawing shapes literally and then drawing more interpretive. I get why I'm having that trouble because in the pursuit of stylization, I began to get obsessed with accuracy, which is the opposite of what stylization is. But alas, that's where we ended up. I'm having a bit of trouble with the lips now because I just haven't thought about studying anything. Mainly because I haven't been studying at all. I've been so caught up with all these ideas that I want to do that I just haven't done what I needed to, which is basically which is study lips. I did it once and then I didn't do it again. And I was like, oh, you know, I got it now. But now that I'm studying again, I feel like I don't have it. I don't know what the problem is. Even when I break it down into shapes, it's just a little bit of disconnect. But today I felt pretty confident when I was doing these drawings, mainly because I felt like I understood how to translate the shapes. But I still feel like I'm a little bit away from my style. And that's probably because I haven't drawn my original characters in forever, and they're kind of what kickstarted my style. Like, how do I say? When I first started drawing, I was heavily inspired by drawing with waffles, and that turned into me creating my Sona, not my first original character, because that was somebody else. The second way I use references is to take a little piece of something from the references I'm using. So, for example, I'm going to take the pose from this reference, the outfit from this reference, and the lighting from this reference to come together and make this last drawing. This is a very effective way to apply what you've learned and also practice some skills that you may be lacking in without making it feel too clinical or like classroom-like. Like if you simply just make it so what you're doing is a little bit more casual, then it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm studying lighting right now and only lighting, or oh, I'm studying backgrounds and perspective now. You know, it can be a bit more interesting than just that. So I picked a character I'm familiar with, who I often have the best consistency with the drawing, and I went from there. And I think I did pretty good, minus the lighting. It was a little bit more challenging than I thought it was going to be, but in the end that turned out to be fine because I think it worked in my favor. Just adding like a bunch of details and what am I saying? Adding a bunch of filters, I think, is what made it like okay in the end, and ultimately not as intimidating. At first it really was intimidating though. I have to say I was very not dissatisfied with the result of the lighting until I realized what I could do to make it better. And yeah, then I got my results. I hope you liked today's video and the drawings and the advice I shared with you. If you would subscribe and like, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.